there is a glimmer of hope today in the search for that missing sub. Canada deployed this submarine hunter aircraft that uses sonar buoys. It actually detected underwater noises in 30-minute intervals that are thought to be coming from the tourist submersible that went missing on its way to see the Titanic on Sunday. Now, the U.S. Navy sent a deep ocean salvage system to aid in the recovery efforts, but experts say no rescue this deep has ever been done. The 5 people on board have less than 24 hours worth of oxygen left. We're also learning of several safety concerns about the missing vessel that employees of the company raised. And a friend of one of the missing men said he pulled out of the dive because he thought the company was, quote, cutting too many corners. One of the leading theories about what happened is that the sub got stuck in the Titanic wreckage. This is exactly what happened to a former TV journalist and scientist who said he almost died when his vessel became wedged under the Titanic's stern near the ship's propellers. Wow. So what do we think of all these developments, number one? And do you think that they can pull off a rescue? And I just want to give you an idea of how deep this is. We have, I believe, here we go. Okay, so it's the size of 2 Grand Canyons, the depth of it.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. And you can see here how deep that is. So Tori, did that completely change your glimmer of hope, or do you still believe that they can pull this off?
I still believe because of the banging, and it's at 30-minute intervals. And again, I'm going to repeat, they have a French research diver on board. If anyone knows how to focus your breath and calm everybody down, it's that person. They also have the CEO of the thing. But I do want everyone to remember, I'm sorry, Jeff, but they get they're sitting this close. It's not like you have any room. And so the mood swings that the psychologist has brought up are incredible. So apparently they're gonna be sad, angry, they're gonna have extreme, sometimes humor, and then sometimes they're gonna have extreme loneliness and bonding. So I can't imagine, but the fact of the interval banging gives me a lot of hope. And they have the best, everybody in the world has their eyes on this. So I'm just praying. I'm just praying and praying and praying.
Yeah, I don't want to be the contrarian here, and it makes me sad to say this. I don't hold out as much hope. Obviously, we live in the future, and you see this technology that's being employed, and I've never hoped to be more wrong on this, but I do think that there is a part of us that needs to prepare ourselves for the fact that this might not end the way that we want it to.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that, you know, as adventurers as these people were, and thrill seekers, people that run and jump off of a cliff with just a parachute in their hand, those people know that there's a certain amount of risk to what they're doing. I don't think the people on this vessel ever thought it would come to this, but what we're trying to do right now is a Herculean effort, and when it's done, they usually make a movie about it. That's how rare it is. We're talking about the Thai boys trapped in the cave, the Chilean miners. Yep. There's a reason they make movies out of these, because it only happens 1 or 2 or 3 times in a lifetime.
But we did have success stories with those.
I hope this is the 4th or 5th.
I agree. What do you think, Jeff, about the fact that the whole world, their eyes are on this? Why do you think we're all so captivated by it?
That's what makes me hopeful for it. I don't know why we do stories like the Chilean miners and things like that, and the whole world gets involved and they get them out. Remember Jessica in the well? Remember that well story?
Jessica,
That's when I was a little kid. I still remember that. So I don't know why something inside us, you know, innately wants to help and save people. And I think because there's so many eyeballs on it, I am still hopeful. And that knocking made me hopeful. That was the first I heard that they could be stuck in the wreckage. I don't know where that came from, to be perfectly honest, because I heard they didn't make it down that far. If they're down that far, it's a little more tricky. They're running out of oxygen. But for some reason, with all those things we just said, it feels like a movie of the week. It feels like it might have a happy ending, but at some point, we do have to be realistic, right?
Right. Erica, we need some help.
I'm just so confused. Like, I'm thoroughly confused by this situation. When you hear all of the facts about, I mean, the fact that there wasn't even a beacon on board.
Right, or a tracer, right.
When my husband goes cat skiing, he carries a beacon. Right. Like, that seems like a very, that seems seems basic.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I'm
leaving because of corner cutting. So
right. And then that. Like, and what was the conversation like for the passenger who decided not to get on board? Did he have a conversation with his friend who was getting on board? Like, I mean, we can obviously second guess and Monday morning quarterback this thing till we're blue in the face, but it just, so much of this, especially because there's so much money involved, defies all logic as to how this could have happened.
Does that
to begin
logic
with.
get cleared up? And I want to ask all of you guys this, because they're billionaires. And so anytime you go, well, how were they allowed to do this? And it's only been on 3 runs.
But not allowed. It's $250,000 a seat. Why not get a beacon?
Right.
But it's like you get all that money and you don't get a tracer.
And why are you getting a controller from like GameStop?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
And
To
that's
me,
no
it's
shade. That's really like a controller from GameStop.
It's $25.
Yeah.
It's highly irresponsible
Yeah, I
for the
know.
CEO. And why isn't there an engineer? Maybe he is the engineer. Why, when you go to the moon or you go anywhere?
Because what is the engineer going to say, Sam, to a billionaire? Whoever says no to a billionaire? Has that ever happened?
It's almost to their detriment, right? Because they're so in their mind ahead of everybody else. They're like, well, I'm good. I don't need help here. You're literally going to a place called the abyss.
Right.
That's where you're headed, and you don't bring something to locate where you are, some sort of sonar. That's an error on their part. Maybe it's because they're billionaires. Like, I got this. Everybody, calm down. You don't want to come. You don't have to come. I know what I'm doing.
Would you sign a waiver? This waiver mentioned the word death 3 times in it. Would that be a red flag to you?
Yeah, of course, but I think when you're a billionaire, and I don't know what it's like even close to be a billionaire, but I think you do things that are out of the ordinary because you feel that special.
Invincible.
You could do things, you want to be the first, you want to do things that other people cannot afford or they can't do, whether it be go to outer space or the depths of the ocean, to their own detriment. I think their mentality on life, which is part of the reason why they're a billionaire, is to their own downfall.
Well, I pray that tomorrow we have a happy
Me too.
ending. I really do. And of course, all the information that we've discussed is at the time of this taping.